You're not confused. You're afraid. That's the truth behind most overthinking. It's not that you don't know what to do. It's that you're afraid of what will happen if you're wrong. So you stay in your head. You analyze, question, doubt, spiral, hoping that one more thought will finally make you feel safe enough to move. But that moment of certainty never comes, because overthinking isn't clarity, it's paralysis in disguise. And the more intelligent you are, the worse it gets. Because your mind is sharp enough to build endless scenarios, but not wise enough to silence the fear beneath them. So today, let's talk about what overthinking really is, where it comes from, why it quietly ruins your life, and how to stop before it becomes your identity. Part 1. What overthinking actually is. Overthinking is not a personality trait. It's not how deep people think. It's a defense mechanism disguised as logic. It's the brain's attempt to create certainty in an uncertain world. It's fear wearing the mask of intelligence. You tell yourself, I just need to think it through more. I just want to be sure. But you're not seeking truth. You're trying to avoid risk. You overanalyze because you don't want to feel regret. You delay because you fear failure. You ask others for their opinions, not for insight, but for safety. And slowly, you lose trust in yourself. The worst part? Overthinking feels productive. It feels like you're doing something, when in reality, you're doing everything but moving forward. Part 2. Where it comes from. Overthinking is not random. It comes from a wound. Most chronic overthinkers grew up in environments where it wasn't safe to just act or be themselves. Maybe you were punished for making mistakes. Maybe love was withdrawn when you failed. Maybe your feelings were dismissed. So you learned to second-guess everything you felt. You internalize this message. Before I make a move, I need to be sure it's right. So now, even as an adult, you hesitate. You don't trust your impulses. You delay even the smallest decisions. You replay conversations for hours, dissecting every word you said, like you're on trial. This isn't intelligence, it's trauma in slow motion. And the longer it goes unchecked, the more it becomes your identity. I'm just an overthinker. Number. You're just scared, and no one taught you how to feel safe within yourself. Part 3. The cost of overthinking. Overthinking is not harmless. It costs you time, peace, relationships, and most of all, self-respect. Every time you overthink instead of act, you send a subtle message to your nervous system. I don't trust you. And your body listens. You start to lose your ability to make clear decisions. You feel exhausted even when you've done nothing. You replay situations thinking it will help, but it only deepens the wound. You stop showing up fully in relationships. You pull away when you should speak up. You remain stuck in jobs, friendships, cities, not because they're right, but because you're afraid of choosing wrong. And eventually, you start to shrink, not visibly, but internally. You stop asking what you want. You start waiting for others to make the decision first, because at least if they're wrong, it won't be your fault. Part 4. Signs you're stuck in mental loops. Let's be brutally honest. You might be stuck in fear-based overthinking if you constantly replay past conversations in your head. You avoid decisions unless they're guaranteed safe. You look for signs, coincidences, or validations before acting. You need to ask multiple people for their opinions before you move. You often feel like you're mentally tired, but you've done nothing physical. You struggle with regret, even over small things. You confuse anxiety for intuition. These aren't quirks, they're survival patterns. And once you see them for what they are, you can begin to unlearn them. Part 5. How to stop overthinking and rebuild self-trust. This is where most advice fails you. They say, just stop thinking too much. But that's like telling someone with a broken leg to run. You don't kill overthinking by force, you heal the fear beneath it. Step 1. Pause. Don't react to the fear. The moment you feel the spiral begin, say this to yourself: I'm not seeking clarity. I'm seeking safety. Just naming the truth helps deactivate the fear. Step 2. Make micro decisions daily. Stop waiting for 100% certainty. Move at 70% readiness. Say yes to the coffee plan. Post the draft even if it's not perfect. Send the message without rereading it 10 times. Every time you take imperfect action, you teach your nervous system that you are safe even when things aren't perfect. That is how self-trust is built. Not through thinking, but through doing. Step 3. Cut the mental courtroom. No more asking 5 people for validation. No more replaying that argument on loop. Choose your truth and let the rest unfold. Overthinking keeps you in the illusion that you can control outcomes, but wisdom says you can only control your intention, not the result. Release the result. Hold the integrity. That's peace. Final truth. Overthinking isn't a flaw, it's a learned fear response, and it can be unlearned. You don't need more thoughts. You need more trust in your ability to handle whatever comes next. You don't become free by thinking your way into peace. You become free by acting despite fear and realizing you survived. Some things can't be understood in advance. They can only be lived. So the next time your mind starts spiraling, pause, breathe, and remind yourself, this isn't clarity, this is fear. And fear doesn't get to make the decisions anymore.